Well, hello, my friends. It's Shawn Petite with DecoArt Media Design Team, and I'm back for a winter project. Look at how cute this is. And here are the DecoArt Media products that we'll be using today in today's project. So I'm starting on an 11 by 14 MDF board, and I've got my matte medium out here by DecoArt. And I've just got some vintage papers, and these are copies of inside book covers. And I've got them kind of in color ranges that would represent maybe sky or middle landscape and ground and that kind of thing, just to kind of give me some separation of color, and that subtle pattern in the background will show through, and so that's why I put my papers down. It helps define the areas and it adds interest. So I've put everything down with my DecoArt Media Matte Medium, and everything is dry. And now I'm going to be using just a few colors in the blues and I think it's raw sienna. All of the supplies will be listed on the DecoArt Media blog. But I am mixing my fluid acrylics with a little bit of gesso to give it some depth. And I'm mixing those different blues, cyan blue and cerulean blue hue, with my gesso to give that kind of sky cloud feeling. And I'm going to graduate those colors down to vary what a horizon would look like. I'm going horizontally in my brush strokes to again give that landscape feel. And you can already see, even with just the papers, how adding that blue and then the colors of the paper actually create that landscape right away. And so here's the sienna, raw sienna that I'm adding in, and I'm not cleaning my brush, so I'm letting some of that blue mix together and with the raw sienna, and it kind of dirties it up a little bit, and I like that. That's what I'm going for. And I'm just continuing to add some gesso to the colors. I've got some teal and that raw sienna. Again, mixing those, I know that when I mix those colors, it's going to go more green and brown, and that's what I want. That's my landscape. Super subtle, super easy. I'm blending all of the colors together, wet on wet. So now I'm going to create my birdhouse, and I've got a piece of graphite paper, and I pulled a sketch from the internet, and I'm going to use that and trace it. And so I'm going to use the graphite and put it directly down onto my piece and trace the entire birdhouse. This is a great way to get a design without having to draw it out, reinvent the wheel. And so I'm just going to trace that out. I hold it down on one side so I can lift it up and see if I've missed any lines. I'm using a ballpoint pen, which is super easy to glide across the paper. So now that that's down, I'm going to do the same process again, but I'm separating the two. So I've got the body of the birdhouse, and then I will do the top of the birdhouse. And that's because both of those are going to have different media on it, and I really want them to look 3D. So I've got my crackle paint out here by DecoArt, and I'm going to just paint in my crackle paint on the base of the birdhouse. Now I'm going to do the top of the birdhouse, the roof, and I've got some texture sand because I really wanted it to feel textural and kind of grungy, like it's been out in the weather and there's dirt on it, and just that you would see in nature. So I added some crackle paint to that. So I've got texture sand and some crackle paint to really give it some grungy goodness. So now I'm going to start building my branches, and I put the birdhouse down first because I want to build my branches around it. I'm using one of my stencils, and this is the Evergreen and Berries stencil. I'll use a couple. And I'm varying the colors. I'm using fluid acrylics. And again, all the supplies will be listed on the DecoArt blog. And I'm just varying the colors between 3 different types of greens. And then I've got the raw umber or burnt umber for the pine cones. And so now I'm going to take my glazing medium and my burnt umber and just give it a glaze and really let all of that crackle show up. Pulling it back, and oh, it's just so good. All of that glaze gets down into all of those cracks. I'll add just a little bit of shading around the edge of that base of the birdhouse. And now I'm going to work on the roof. So I'm adding a whole bunch of colors in there because in my mind the roof was metal, and so there might be some rust on there. There might be some old dead leaves and different things like that is just collected in nature. And I wanted to just kind of add a bunch of different colors in there that would kind of represent that. They'll all mix together, kind of go brown. You'll see some turquoise in there. And we'll just get that all grungy good, and then we'll put it all together. So you got my matte medium, and I'm going to put the matte medium down and just place my birdhouse in its place. I've grabbed a cardinal from a vintage book, and I'll place that down. And now I'm going to just start really bringing everything to life. I'm adding in my some lines with some burnt umber and some raw umber for the branches. I'm really kind of thickening up and just kind of connecting everything so that it doesn't look like a stencil. And I love using stencils this way because it is fast. It gives me my design right now. And it's ready to go, and all I have to do is come back in and just add a few brush strokes with my fluid acrylics, and it looks hand painted. So I'll just fill in the branches and do a couple of swipes on the greenery, and it is good to go. Now I will start my shading. I'm using a charcoal pencil, and I'm just going to shade everything. I'm going to shade around the birdhouse, add definition and shadow, shade around the bird, the branches, everything, to just really make it stand out, to give it shadow and shade and depth. Now I'm going to add my snow because this is it's winter, and I'm just using some DecoArt Media gesso and a brush and really roughly just kind of pouncing it on there so that it feels like the snow has collected on the piece, and then that's pretty much it. Super easy. I will shade around the edge, but I hope you enjoyed today's project, and you can check out all the details on the DecoArt Media blog. All the supplies and everything will be listed there, and you can check out all of the other wonderful artists that are part of the team and get wonderful inspiration there on the DecoArt Media blog. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next project.